What's up, guys? Filming third video in a row. Let's get to it. We're going to talk about the Nasdaq. So you guys may have heard of many names: Nasdaq Composite, 100, etc. Let's get into it. So number one, the Nasdaq. What is it? So it's a global electronic marketplace for buying and selling securities. Keyword: global electronic marketplace for buying and selling securities. So you're probably saying, well, is this an investment for me? Well, no, not in a way, but the reason is obviously you can buy stuff off the Nasdaq because you can buy and sell securities. So it's not directly an investment, but indirectly you get to take investments from there. But what makes it important? So that's the third question. Like, why is it important? What would you guys want from this if I were to tell you, well, why would we care about a global electronic marketplace? So look, the Nasdaq operates with 29 markets, one clearinghouse, and 5 security depositories. And the thing is about that, if you want to find most of your tech giants, or if you want to find most of your reputable tech companies, because let's see, technology is just going up, it's skyrocketing, and it's a great industry to be in. Like I said, not advice, it's just information. You can look at it from all the data. Most tech giants are listed on the Nasdaqs, aka Microsoft, Apple, and Alphabet to be specific, and obviously much more. And it's the world's first automated exchange, so you don't have to worry about having to go to the stock market in New York and say, hey, let me get on the Nasdaq, let me grab some tickers, and let me see what I can do to invest. No, you can just do it freely. Do it from your brokerage on your phone, whether you got Fidelity, Robinhood, etc. And more than 5,000 companies are on it. So you don't have to worry about sitting at a exchange and saying, well, I have a limited amount of companies. No, you have over 5,000. You can do your research and you can understand where on the Nasdaq that you want to go into for a sector, or if you want to get an ETF, etc. But the Nasdaq, I think ETFs really are on the Nasdaq, I believe. I got to look that up. Please excuse me, guys, for that one. But it's over 5,000 companies on it, and there's two types of the market on there. So you have the national and small caps, and the national market are large securities. So obviously your larger companies, your small cap are your smaller growth companies. So growth companies as in the ones that want to make money and grow, and eventually want to be one of the large securities. So your national market, you'll have an Apple, you'll have a Microsoft. Small cap, you have smaller companies that maybe have a market cap of maybe probably 500 million, 750 million, or maybe a couple hundred millions. Not like Apple with trillions and items like that. And how do they generate revenue? Because you're probably wondering, well, the Nasdaq, they got to make money. They have all this money flowing through them. They generate revenue from clients, so anybody that wants to list on there, etc., via fees from market accessing. So if you want to access that market and you want to be put on the market, you got to pay a fee for that. Investment data, so if you might want to view your rivals, if you want to view data that goes through your company that's on the Nasdaq, you got to pay for that. The usage fees is that. You have to pay for safeguard agents against financial crimes. So for example, when somebody tries to go and hack through and do money laundering, or people want to put away their books for financial crimes, you have to have safeguards against that. So you got to pay for that. And listing fees, because why? You want to be listed on exchange. You want people to buy into you, but in order for them to buy into you, you have to be listed on exchange, the Nasdaq. There you go. So with that being said, the Nasdaq is very, very helpful because it's an exchange that allows us to buy and sell those securities. Without the Nasdaq, we would not have a way to really buy and sell a lot of companies. Obviously, you could have different trading platforms, but the Nasdaq is the big one. It's the one for the United States. So I would say that if you want to invest somewhere good, just go to the Nasdaq, do your research, and understand what you're buying into. So overall, we also have the Nasdaq Composite, which tracks everything but mutual funds, preferred stocks, and derivatives. So if you want to wipe away some of the more technical, or mutual funds diversify. So if you don't want to have a mutual fund, you don't have to have that with the Composite. If you don't want a preferred stock, and obviously we know that preferred stock are the people that have stock, but you have the right to a dividend, less taxes, bondholders before you, but after you, common stock people don't have a right to a dividend, and derivatives. So if you want to take all that out, you can just have the Nasdaq Composite. And the Nasdaq 100 has the largest 100 companies traded on the Nasdaq, and about every 60%, so let's say for every 10, 6 of them are tech stocks. So your tech stocks, I'm gonna have to make a video on tech stocks separately, but your tech stocks are on the Nasdaq. So this was a very short video, guys. It was just for me to inform you about the Nasdaq and how to understand it. What does it do? Because everybody could just say, oh yeah, we know, we see the Nasdaq every day, we see the Nasdaq with the markets. What is a Nasdaq? So you got your explanation. So it's not an investment directly, you can invest within it. And told you about the Nasdaq. So why is it important? It's your exchange. It's where you get stuff from. If you don't have the Nasdaq, you don't really have a market to be exchanged upon with your securities to buy and sell them. So I'll probably come in the next video and look up about the ETFs. But thanks guys for watching. Tune in for the next video.